and salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 recent 5-star reads. Hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. I'm going to be talking about some 5-star reads that I read recently. These are kind of like the only 5 stars I've had so far this year. I had a couple more, but these were the 5 that were like really, honestly, like 10-star reads. Like a lot of times I don't get to talk about some of my favorite books and you guys don't know what I'm reading unless you follow me on Goodreads or TikTok. Anyways, I did see Jess from Peace Love Books do this video. She does it kind of seasonally. She just did one where she talked about her 5-star reads that she read in the winter, and I thought that was really fun to kind of break it up like that, and I just love gushing about books. So here we are. Let me know if you want to see the opposite of this and like the books I have not liked. Let me know. I don't like being negative, so talk about the 5 books that I've read this year that are just looking to be my favorites of the year. 5 stars, highly recommend them. Okay, let's get into it. It's absolutely no surprise that Marina Pavankos is on this list twice. I had to stifle the urge to put her on this list 3 times because I just love her books so much. Now I'm looking at my list and I'm like, oh, maybe I should add her 3 times. Marina Pavankos is an author on Kindle Unlimited. She writes mainly male romances. Really focus on like these sweepingly romantic but also very emotional stories. And her writing style is so unique, unlike anything I've ever read before. It's lyrical, it's emotional, it's almost therapeutic to read her books because they're beautiful. All of them make me cry, and I just feel like she's so underrated. After I talked about her a ton, she wrote one of my favorite books, Divine River, which I'm not even joking, guys. I know I've said it on my channel, but I think it's my favorite book ever. Like, I think it almost knocked off Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas, which I've been ride or die for since the very beginning of my channel. I even have a tattoo for that book. Like, Divine River just came and swept it right up. Okay, that's not the point. The point is I love her, I adore her, and I need everyone to read her. This shirt is so wrinkly, I'm so sorry. The first book is In This Iron Ground, and this is a male werewolf shifter romance series that you don't have to read in order. They are standalones, but this is the first book. How to describe this book? This book wrecked me. I literally like reading it at 1 in the morning, crying, sobbing, whispering how beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, like over and over again. Just gorgeous. And it's not like a typical romance. I will say that right now it is very slow burn, which is not my usual vibe. This is a male shifter werewolf romance. Takes place in a small town. It follows our heroes Damien and Hakan, I think is how you pronounce his name. I'm so sorry, I don't mean to butcher it. Damien is a human and he lost both of his parents at a very young age. He's been in the foster system for many years. People have kind of like written him off as like a bad kid. Damien goes through a lot in the foster care system. So Damien ends up finding out that there's werewolves in his town, and he grows really close to this werewolf family that kind of like takes him in. And this entire book, I struggle to call this like directly a romance because really this book is following Damien's journey of loving himself, finding himself, taking care of his mental health, really discovering what true love is. His past trauma, he's never experienced true love, a friendship love, a family love, a romantic love. So he's really learning that, and this is like his book and his process of healing. And it's so beautiful. Like, I could literally cry right now, stop it. I'm so obsessed with this main character. He's so strong. I just love the way Marina Pavankos wrote this book. And it's kind of a friend Silver's romance. Werewolf family that kind of took him in has an older brother that is like his best friend. They grow up together, and it's a friend Silver's romance. And yes, it does take a while to get to the romance. It's pretty slow burn. Love it. We have to move on. It's so good. The next one is Sicken of the Calm, kind of like a new adult series that takes place in a college, but again, they're all standalones. You don't have to read them in order, and this is the first book in that series, and it follows Joaquin and Ezra. I knew I was gonna love this book from chapter 1 when I realized one of our characters is Puerto Rican. Like, I'm very simple to please, okay? Whenever I see that, I'm like, yes. He is bisexual, and in high school he grew up in a really small town where he didn't feel comfortable coming out, and in college this is like his time to really discover that part of himself, and he ends up bumping into Ezra, who he went to high school with and was like his first crush. His crush and someone that he never thought he would end up with, and they end up getting paired together for a project in this class that they shared together, and it follows their romance. Things get a little steamy. This is light BDSM. If you're not familiar with BDSM, I feel like this is actually a really good book to start with, because both of our characters are not familiar with the lifestyle, but they're interested in it, so they're kind of learning together. Form like a friends with benefits situation, and I love it. It's so good. The aftercare in this book is amazing. The emotional connection these characters have, the communication, just like, nobody writes a romance like Marina Pavankos. Like, nobody. Okay, I'm moving on. I'm so sorry. I'm like talking about this forever. This one I read pretty early on this year. I almost thought it was last year, but no, I think it was this year. And that is Not All Himbos Wear Capes by C. Rochelle. This is a superhero romance. That's all you need to know. Like, a superhero romance. The plot is so cool, wicked cool. It's a male romance. It follows our heroes Xander and Butch. Xander comes from a very prominent villain family, and Butch comes from a very prominent hero family. Both of them end up going on this dating app as like their human self, so their human personas, and they get matched together without knowing their like alternate identities. On a date, and this also has like a light BDSM moment. Butch never realized that he was bi, he never realized that he was a submissive, so Xander kind of like brings that out of him, and they form this BDSM relationship. So steamy, so sexy, and also very funny. This almost reads like a romantic comedy. The inner dialogue that our characters have, especially the hero Butch, hilarious, so funny. I was like cracking up half this book. I just really loved the plot. It was unique. I don't think I've ever read anything like it. I loved the subtle hints of BDSM, loved all the side characters. I'm very excited for the second book. Like, I cannot wait to read it. The synopsis, I honestly thought it was almost like a parody, like it was a joke, because like I said, it reads like a romantic comedy, but it's so romantic at the same time. Like, perfect. It's amazing. Like, read it, please. All my friends that have read it have really liked it, so I want more people to read this one just so I can know your thoughts. Moving on. The next one is a novella, and it is by Cassie Mint. How do you pronounce her name? Cassie Mint. This one is called Kiss It Better. This is an age gap dad's best friend romance. Everyone is a college student, and she's like hopelessly in love with her dad's best friend, who is a doctor, but they've never really gone there because there's quite a big age gap, until she is a little bit older and he starts seeing her in a different way. She ends up going to the hospital because she hurts her arm or something, and he ends up like kind of patching her up, and from there there's just like this instant attraction, a little bit of like role play, doctor role play, which is super sexy. The next one is Egotistical Puck Boy by Eden Finley. This is the first book in her Puck Boy series. I would say you have to read it in order because it follows a bunch of like side characters throughout the series, and there's also hints of other characters from her other books, like her CU hockey series, her fake boyfriend series, all that good stuff. This is a opposites attract hockey romance. Can we all just agree hockey romances are superior and they'll always be superior? Okay, glad we covered that. Glad we both know. This follows Ezra and Anton, who are kind of like enemies a little bit. They have a little bit of a sports rivalry going on. They're very different, definition of opposites attract, and they've played on different hockey teams and have always gone like head to head. But Anton, I think it's Anton ends up getting traded over to Ezra's team, and they have to play together, and there's this chemistry that they have. Ezra is this loud, energetic playboy, and Anton is a very quiet and more subdued, but they fit each other perfectly. End up hooking up and playing hockey together, and it's sexy and sweet, and I really loved it. Such a good start to the series. Those were the 5 books that I gave 5 stars recently. If I had to give like a extra bonus shout out, it would be Face Off by Marina Pavankos. I had to throw it in there. I just love her. I'm telling you guys. This is another male-male hockey romance, but it's an Omega-verse, and it is an enemies to lovers / like second chance romance between 2 rival hockey captains. Okay, they play on different teams. They're both captains. They go head to head. An alpha, one's an omega. One of them gets their medical records leaked, and it shows that he's an omega. And he's playing hockey, which is like an alpha-dominated sport. A lot of his information is leaked, and he ends up reconnecting with our other hero in this book, who they actually were rookies together like years ago and used to have a relationship years ago, but it didn't end good. So this is like their second chance romance. Best Omegaverse. I freaking loved it. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about Marina Pavankos. I'm just gonna do a whole video on her because I love her. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Have you read any of these books? Did you like them? What have been some of your recent 5-star reads? I would love to know. As always, thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!